Hello, everyone. Welcome to Web3 Talks. I'm Lisa Amnegard, and today I'm sitting down with Alex Malkov, co-founder of HAQQ, the biggest and first Sharia-compliant blockchain that caters to the Muslim community. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me today.
Before we start talking about what you're doing in this space, I first wanted to ask, what is the difference between a Sharia-compliant blockchain and a normal blockchain?
Essentially, to answer this question, we have to ask what we are doing. And the HAQQ is a layer 1 protocol, which perceives its goal as to bridge the Islamic finances and Web3. The Islamic finances, those are the finances that adhere to the Sharia principles, so to the Islamic principles. And when we're talking about the difference, it's very easy to understand it if you look at the difference between the classic finance, outside of the crypto, and the Islamic finances. So they're pretty similar. However, Islamic principles dictates that you cannot do certain things, and all the deals, all the mechanisms, the financial mechanisms that you're using has to be transparent, reliable. So the risk should be balanced always between one party and another, which leads to prohibition of the certain practices. So, for example, you cannot charge interest, so you cannot make money just out of money. That's why all the loan and borrowing techniques are very peculiar to the regular user, of the finances. Yeah, but essentially, now the Islamic finance industry is growing rapidly. It's growing much faster than the traditional. Yeah, just because people are getting more and more confident in the Islamic finances, even though they're not Muslims, because it's like very simple example. If your money in the Islamic bank, you know for sure 100% that your money is there. However, in the classic finances, as soon as I deposit my $100, the bank will immediately loan out 70 or 80%, depending on the reserves, to somebody else. So when the bank collapses or there's a bank run, there's a chance that you don't get anything. Which is impossible in the Islamic finance world. So it's more reliable, less risky. And we're trying to bring those practices into the crypto because, we all love crypto space. That's why we are there.
And it's kind of evolving as our decentralized finance is becoming a larger part in today's society.
From one side, it's a Sharia-compliant DeFi, what we're trying to do. On the other side, and we frequently calling it that, this is the ethical finance. Because in a sense, the Sharia principles make whatever deal we're talking about more ethical, more fair, more transparent, and then less risky for the participants of the deal. And it's actually essential and very, very, very needed in crypto.
There has been a debate for many years whether crypto is halal or it's not halal. So taking the principles of Sharia finance or Sharia law, do you think crypto can be halal?
Unfortunately, or luckily, I'm not an authority to say that, but that's why we have our own Sharia board. Same as every Islamic bank or another financial institution in the Islamic finance world, they having their Sharia scholars and experts who are actually guiding them and taking a huge part in designing the products and how they function, the terms and conditions of the certain product. And so there are a lot of them around the world, and they have different opinions.
Yeah.
Not for certain cryptos, for example, but in crypto in general. Yeah, because if you look, for example, at Indonesia, where they have like a semi-governmental organization, which is called MUI, Majelis Ulama Indonesia, and a couple of years ago, they made a statement that all the crypto is haram. So it's all bad. However, they left a very narrow window that probably if something changes in the space and it's going to be less risky, less opaque practices, then potentially something might change. So that was very good, especially for us, for example, because our fatwa that we had when we launched, it was issued by several scholars, which are very world-renowned scholars. They Their credentials are wonderful. So, and they're very well known once again. And we convinced MUI in Indonesia for them to review this fatwa.
Yeah.
And essentially it led to them endorsing our fatwa. So they never changed their minds. So there is a peculiar situation. On one hand, they say that all the crypto is haram. But on the other hand, they said that, hey, this fatwa that you have, well, it makes sense. Or it might make sense.
Which is big because they've gone out several times and expressed that crypto in particular is haram.
Yep.
But going back to HAQQ and what you do, you're building more than just a cryptocurrency. It's more of a wider plan to make Sharia or Islamic finance incorporated into the Web3 space. So it's like an ecosystem. So tell me a little bit about HAQQ, what it is in your plans for the Web3 and blockchain space.
Well, essentially, this is the ecosystem. We're building it bit by bit. So we are taking the classical Web3 practices, like DeFi products or CeDeFi products, and we're just redesigning them or encouraging other builders to come to our chain and redesign them themselves in a way that they would be compliant with the Sharia principles on one hand. On the other hand, they just have to be ethical. So they might not be explicitly halal. So it's not like we're trying that we have 100% halal space only for such a product. No, because there is a vast gradient of I would say like products that they can be neither halal, neither haram. So it's just neutral. Yeah. So their features allowing them to be used by the Muslims. However, they're not explicitly halal. So we're building this ecosystem trying to provide and propose an alternative to the classical DeFi, which is still risky. And the more we go into the space, the more we are, as an industry, crypto growing, there are more these complex derivatives that based like a derivative upon the another one. And we are gradually finding ourselves in a situation which has led to the, for example, crisis in 2008. Just because there are no real money underneath. There are just a lot of financial products upon it.
Yeah.
So
and also a lot of speculation.
It's all about the speculation.
Yeah.
I mean, like, frankly, if we look at the crypto these days, it's like 90% of the speculation. Speculation, meme tokens, previously NFTs, which is not very sustainable model, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's like 100% bad or something like that. This is the growth phase, and this is an adoption phase, and of course, people are chasing an opportunity to make some profit out of nothing, basically. So nobody would blame, for example, Solana for having pump.fun or all this stuff like that. It has to be. I mean, it's just going to be there. You can do nothing about it. But to have an alternative for more sustainable, for more long-term finances, which are solving real world problems, this is something that we are doing. That's why we are not trying to build our products around high yield returns or around like get rich fast or something like that. We are building and encouraging others to build. So we're participating on like investing and giving out the grants to build the products which allow you to solve your real world problems. And since our community is a Muslim community, and a lot of those are countries with the biggest Muslim populations in the world, they are emerging markets with a low access to the classical financial, to the banks. So most of them, for example, Indonesia is just 20% has bank accounts of the population, so 80% unbanked, like total unbanked. But they still need, as a growing economy, they still need like the microfinances, for example. They need short-term loans just to go by. Sometimes just to grow their business, to cover some essential needs. And we're trying to get this mixture of the DeFi, the best practices from the DeFi and the best practices from the Islamic finance, to allow them to propose them an alternative way of, okay, you cannot get a loan from the bank. There is a P2P lending.
And you're launching something, I believe today, the Feroza Finance.
Yeah, the Feroza is actually launching today. It just launched a couple hours ago. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. This is the platform which utilizes, basically it's a tokenized Sukuk. So it based on the Mudaraba model, where people are pulling the funds to actually give it out to an actual business in a Sharia-compliant way. So it's...
So what does that mean?
Well, it's a little bit complex. I don't want to bore anybody with this, but the problem is that you cannot charge interest, right? So, yeah.
That's one of the, in Islamic finance.
Exactly. Yeah, it's called riba. It's a bad thing. So, but they have a substitution for that, for the classical lending out the money. So when we are actually participating, like for example, you and me, we're sharing the risks, we're sharing the profit, we're pulling our funds, we're giving it out for some permissible costs, because a lot of the businesses, of course, are prohibited, so you cannot finance them. But Feroza is focusing on the emerging markets and on a very specific products. So, for example, now among those pools that we are having there are several microfinance organizations which are giving out, for example, for the SMEs, for the small businesses in Indonesia, the loans. Yeah, the one is building houses in Africa. I mean, it's all commercial. It's not some non-commercial activity, but still, yeah. So this, it's important to understand that these are sustainable models and not just like a money-making procedures. Yeah, and even though we have a very good test APRs, I mean, compared to the classical Islamic finances, I mean, like pretty much 2 times bigger than the standard average market rates. It's still not as maybe lucrative as other crypto, when you can get double your income.
But this is for the long term, and it solves a problem for people in emerging markets who are Muslim, but also for other people who just want sort of ethical solutions. When it comes to the UAE, they've been very progressive when it comes to regulation, and also are very happy to welcome different types of businesses trying to build different services in the Web3 space and blockchain. But what role do you see UAE playing when it comes to global adoption of Sharia-compliant blockchain or crypto?
Currently, UAE, being the financial hub of the Middle East and actually one of the financial hubs in the world, they are on the spotlight. So everybody's looking at them and their success at what they do and how they do it. So it is understandable that they have to be cautious and set an example for other, not just Muslim countries, but just for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's why they always trying to bring the best specialists into the field, into the picture, and trying to make the most robust, I would say, regulation for everything that they do. And I think that generally for crypto, not just for the Sharia-compliant, because there is no special subsection of the regulations for the Sharia-compliant crypto yet. Maybe somewhere in the future, yeah. We're still observing that the pace in terms of the Web3 projects is slow. Yeah, so we see a lot of activity in the centralized space, like the exchanges, custodians, asset managers, a lot of the licenses being given to them. A lot of the big players, big names are here. So all the big exchanges, all the big custody providers, yeah, the Binance, OKX, Bybit, they all are here now, yeah. And I think it's just the reality that until they actually land the biggest players, like infrastructural players, into the space, they will not go to the next step of bringing an actual innovative and in some way risky projects. Because
and keep it safe.
Yeah, just to keep it safe, just not to get in any unnecessary unwanted situation.
Since you have the biggest Sharia-compliant blockchain, When it comes to people, let's say, signing up to different types of services that are either they claim to be halal or Sharia compliant, what should they be looking for? Like how should they know that it's not a scam, or how would you sort of define good practice?
I don't like the word scam because it's so vague, and there's so many ways to scam actually people, and so frequently it's been misinterpreted, I guess. And it has nothing to do with the Sharia compliance whatsoever. But as we are stating, for example, in our fatwa or in our website or with every product that we do or endorse or support, is that this is the opinion of the scholars that we provided, because we have separate fatwas for every product that we endorse in one way or another or developing. But in the end of the day, it's based on their own person beliefs, actually, because the interpretation of the Sharia law is very vast. I mean, there are a lot of the interpretations.
And I guess that's where much of the debate has come from.
Yeah, a lot of them. No, I mean, if you turn on even there is a regular show on UK television where there's one of the scholars then receiving the calls, and people asking him whether it's halal or haram, and he's trying to advise them. And we did pretty much the same. We made our own AI model that actually advised people on the halal aspects of some financial products and decisions that they can make, which is very cool. And we just launched it a couple months ago. It's still in a beta testing, but it's actually wonderful. I guess it would be very popular, not only with us, but with every financial institution.
Exactly.
So it always comes down to your if we're talking about the Sharia, so you can of course rely on the opinion of the scholars, especially if they're renowned like ours, but still it's frequently it's about your comfort zone of the, for example, risk that you can get into. But of course you have to be cautious every time.
And also we were talking about just some of the products that you launched, the stablecoin, and also when it comes to decentralized finance. But what are some other new launches that are in the pipeline? And we have some other new launches you can share.
Yeah, of course. Well, Feroza is launched today. As we said, the P2P lending that we were preparing for the last, I guess, 10 months, which is called Verify, which is a Sharia-compliant P2P lending, and it was very hard to design the rules of it, because all P2P lendings, as you know, for example, Aave, it's all interest-based, and there is a liquidation thresholds. There is a lot of things that are just incompatible with the Sharia law. Yeah.
How did you sort of resolve that?
Oh, it's take a lot of back and forth. But in short, we made a partnership with a P2P platform in a classical in Ethereum in the classical space, coming from Switzerland, and there is a wonderful team which is led by the person with a huge banking experience, and they were designing how to actually I would say not circumvent, but how to incorporate the Sharia principles into the P2P lending. And we're not charging the interests. There is a platform fees, combination of the platform fees and like the circling fees that you're paying. So essentially the business works.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is no like interest-based models. So it's completely Sharia compliant, and we received fatwa for that, because the whole model was designed together with the scholars, and they were very strict and hard to convince that hard to find this proper structure how it can work. But I'm glad to say that we did. And so this is the Barakafy. Also in the upcoming months, there's going to be actually a lot of things happening with the network and the new products that we're rolling out.
What are you most excited about?
Well, I would say the Feroza, actually, because it's life-changing, you know? It's actually life-changing. If you see on the a market of the microfinance, the classical one, I mean, the just in the fintech space, especially if you're looking at the Southeast Asia, So the Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, those countries, those microfinances, they're booming just because, it's an alternative to the traditional finances, and it helps people to build, I'm talking purely about B2B products. So helping to build their companies, helping them to grow them. So there are a lot, and they're in deep need of the additional liquidity because the demand is just enormous. And Feroza allows to participate in it, to actually benefit out of it in a very simple way, still Sharia-compliant, which is something unique because, we have wonderful projects on the Web3 like the Goldfinch or the Centrifuge, which are doing that. And they even have some small Islamic products, some Islamic pools, which are Sharia-compliant. And I hope that maybe someday we're gonna do something together. But now, we're like pioneering the space.
And if somebody wants to go and check out Feroza, how do they? What can you tell them, audience, about where they can visit, how they can sign up?
Yeah, sure. All those links, they're available at HAQQ.network or the IslamicCoin.net, or if you go to our social networks, like for example, like a Twitter, there is a lot of the announcement, especially today, and these days is gonna be a lot of the buzz about the Feroza. So it's the easiest way to find it, and but we do frequently post like a data lakes with all the things.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'm excited to see what other launches come out in the next few months. I know you have a lot of things planned, and I just want to say thank you so much for speaking with me today. It was really interesting just to know a little bit more about a Sharia-compliant blockchain and how it's changing the lives of billions of Muslims around the world. So I'll be really excited to see what happens. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And if you want to see more videos, please check out Web3 TV. And thank you so much for watching.